In this screencast, we'll look a little further at some of the advantages of collaborative teaching. What's been really interesting is the behaviour of students within these collaborative settings. Touch wood, it has been amazing. And there's a number of things there that I think is happening. There's a chance for students to be able to separate themselves over a wider area. And there's a greater chance for them to be able to develop better peer groups. For example, those quirky kids, now there might be 3 or 4 of them in there and they can unite with each other. Also, having more than one teacher, greater chance for them to be able to strongly connect to at least one of those teachers. In terms of the teacher side of things, there's an extra set or sets of eyes to be able to support students and monitor them while a teacher may be taking an instructional group. With some of our learning assistants, we can now pool their time for greater periods of time within that shared environment rather than in the single cell settings. And we've also found that the students are far more engaged with their learning, and then, as the quote there says, if students are more motivated to learn, more actively participating, learning's likely to be more effective. Our teachers are also able to share the load, and we've also noticed the students really step up in that sense of community, with students often supporting each other to make the right decisions. These are some of the quotes that we're hearing often. This one's come through from a number of teachers that they just don't seem to have the issues that we've had in the past. In some of our shared environments, there's a wide range of high needs, but you wouldn't necessarily know by visiting those rooms. Another advantage of the collaborative approach is what I call the multiple perspectives on the curriculum. So we have 4 curriculums. We start off with the New Zealand curriculum, and then that's been personalised into the school-based curriculum. Now, teachers actually have their own curriculum as well, based on their own interpretation, their own passions, strengths and backgrounds. And then the final curriculum is that of the learner, what is actually learned by the students. Now, as we go from the school curriculum down to the learner's curriculum, there can be quite a mismatch and a bit of diffusion as we go. But with multiple teachers offering multiple perspectives on the curriculum, I think this child's learned curriculum at the end is going to be much richer. Another one here about time. So when teachers are away now, and I've sort of worked out each teacher can easily have 20 days away per year with things like CRT, sick leave, maybe their own kids are sick, going to appointments, funerals, courses, internal professional development and release, etc. So 20 days, that's actually 1 day every 2 weeks. But now within a collaborative setting, rather than a reliever, whilst many of them are great, rather than a reliever coming in and maybe the program being a little different because of the collaborative team partners are still there, that program will continue absolutely the same and the program is fully maintained. I think this is really important because if learning was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and if we started school on the 1st of January, then we actually would finish here on the 11th of February. So the rest of the time, our students aren't with us. We have them 11% of the time, and that's, of course, only if they have 100% attendance. So the clock is ticking, and I think we can't afford to have any downtime. No tired days where the teacher might be a bit tired and let them read a little bit extra. And just now, whenever those absences are there, the program for those students should be getting maintained a lot more strongly. There's lots of evidence out there in terms of collaborative teaching and collaboration in general. Michael Fullan, anything of his is gold. You can see these quotes here. Deprivatisation is a huge one. Our teachers are doing some amazing things in their classes, but often their colleagues don't get to see it because they're in their own classes at the same time. So if we can break down those walls, both literally and also metaphorically, I think that's will be huge. You can see here, effective collaborative culture will outperform schools that don't have that, and individuals outperform themselves when working collaboratively. John Hattie, lots of good information and visible learning for teachers. Teacher collaboration is identified as one of the major keys for improvement. John Hattie also looking at the effect sizes here. So lots of things in education make a difference. We're obviously aiming for some of these things in the blue zone here. This meta-analysis of research, 15-year study of what works in education. Average effect size here of 0.4 roughly means that a child will gain 1 year in 1 year of school. So anything, we obviously trying to aim for these things here for some accelerated gains. Some of the big ones that make a difference here with their effect size, so you can see some of these are about double the gain that you would hope to achieve. Some of these have been discussed in earlier screencasts, but I think these things combined really would be learning on steroids. And if we can provide an environment that offers as many learning settings as possible to promote these kinds of powerful pedagogies, that's what's crucial. And for our school, this variety is offered through our innovative learning environments. So for me, the absolute crux is innovative learning environments make a difference because they provide our teachers more opportunities to use the pedagogies that make a difference. Now, many people ask me this, where's our results? And they often ask, have our national standards results moved? Now, some have, some haven't. National standards is obviously spoken about a lot, but it is only just one barometer of education, and hence why I have this picture here saying it's a little bit of a narrow view to focus solely upon those. In saying that, we're having some strong indications of success in academic areas. This one here is looking at some star reading results of our Year 8 students this year compared to where they were as Year 7s last year. So when these purple bar graph here, they'd been about 2 months in a collaborative environment through now into about 15 months. Huge shifts there into those students above expectation. A couple of down here are actually new enrolments with some special needs, so that isn't actually a drop from these students going backwards. You see here, these guys here have really moved through, some amazing progress occurring there. A junior example, looking at some running records, you'll see we actually do have a number of students that enter our school with relatively low need. So the wedge graph here, the expected sort of progress is roughly on that sort of angle, but I would say our progress is more on this angle. You see some of these students down here that are absolutely flown, gone from well below where they should have been, now to at least at or above where they should be. So real accelerated progress there in some of our junior classes. I mentioned before, national standards is just one barometer. I think Einstein's quote here could not agree more with that. So for us, our learner qualities are really important because this is what we've articulated that really effective learners are and do. And I would strongly contend that our learners will be far more developed in these key areas, and that to me is as important, if not more important, than some of our national standards results. Thank you.